So I glued down. My entire career has been built off me teaching people how to look better, which led to a complete identity crisis when I started to look worse. It felt like everything I had put my effort into to help you guys had come back on me, and it sucked. Scrolling on my For You page one day, I came across an edit about Prime Dylan, and in the video, it was basically me showing me now, like when I was looking way worse than I did in the past, and then it cuts to an edit of like people missing when I used to look good. And yes, I thought it was funny, but at the same time, this like deep down in a way actually hurt me. Now mind you, this video about me glowing down got literally over 1 million views, and even that wasn't too bad until I saw another one. And another one. And another one. And they just started flooding everywhere. So now it's time for me and you as well to glow up together, because what's the point if you're doing it alone? The only issue is that I've already started and seen a ton of progress. So what I want to do with you guys is basically explain what I've done so far and what I plan to do to glow up and get back to Prime Dylan. Alright, so the first thing that I did to start glowing up starts from the hair. This is a huge part of why I was ever known in the first place, and one of the main things I used to give tips about. So the thing is, my hair is pretty much already back to where it was when I was in my quote-unquote prime, and here's exactly what I did. The first thing I did was get a perm. Now, there's a couple tricks to actually making the perm look good that most people don't know. And the first thing is that when you get a perm, you need to get a wavy perm. The stereotypical perm that pretty much any person gets is known as a curly, kinky perm. Pause. They get like these really tiny rollers, and their hair literally comes out looking like ramen noodles. Obviously, my hair does not look like that. What you want to do when you ask for a perm is ask for peach curlers on the top and purple curlers on the side. This is going to ensure that it comes out wavy. But if you want to make it extremely fluffy, I have the perfect thing for you, which is where my secret weapon comes into play. This is my brand Simpletics. You can find it at simpletics.com, but specifically this is salt spray. It's my 5-ingredient all-natural salt spray, and I use it every single day because something it does is actually loosen up perms. Chemicals that they use in your hair actually make your hair curl, and this can temporarily make it look a lot more wavy, so that way you can control exactly what you want your hair to look like. Now, before I get too ahead of myself, I want to be very thorough about this, not skip over anything. Something that made a massive difference for me is using a product like this from Growplex. This is minoxidil. And if you want, you can watch this video right here on how to never go bald, also recover thinning hair. This product specifically actually did save my hair. Yes, I was one of those kids who started going bald at a young age. This single-handedly recovered that. Almost 70% of every guy on the planet experiences permanent hair loss, so don't let that be a problem for you. And if your hair is thin, I also recommend using something like this. With that being said, the hair is just the beginning. My face got so fat, oh my gosh. So if you know anything about the gym, you would know that when you go, you have to do bulks and cut. And a bulk is essentially where you eat a ton of food to try to put on muscle, but in that process, you also put on fat. For lack of a better term, I took the bulk way too far. Like, my face got so fat. When it comes to looking good, having a high body fat percentage in your face takes all definition. So the next thing I did is I like completely cut out eating any sort of junk food or anything like that. And I stick by this guide. I only try to eat meat, fruit, and vegetables. I don't track anything because you don't really need to if you're eating those things. Losing weight is completely based on calories. That being said, eating these things are so low in calorie that tracking it is like honestly not necessary. But dude, that was such a struggle, just like going from how like chubby my face was back to where I am now. And I still have a long way to go. But if you guys want to see like an almost like polar opposite difference, this is the method. Earlier tonight, I literally made like this ground beef with hot sauce and like garlic powder, because all of that, like the seasonings and like hot sauce don't really have any calories. The beef has like such high protein that it suppresses your appetite and also fills you up. And helps with building muscle and making sure you don't lose it. Now, with this being said, at the end of the day, your health is what's by far most important. You should never starve yourself, so like please don't starve yourself, or starve max if you want to call it that. I've done it in the past and it does work, but it's just really not healthy. And like I was saying, literally just eating good foods alone is gonna like make you now we move on to like the critical stuff, like the stuff that makes like a pretty big difference but nobody really talks about or notices. One thing that makes a crazy difference that like almost nobody does, like any guy that I know, is using a men's self tanner. Broglow. Guys, I know this just seems like a big promo. The thing is, like, whenever I talk about this stuff, like, it's literally just, like, products. Like, everything when it comes to looking better, so much of it is based around products. Yeah, Broglow is a men's self-tanner, and it's why my face actually looks so tan right now. I've been using it, and, like, I just don't really tell anyone, and, like, people always are like, bro, how are you getting so tan and so it's, like, quick? Overnight, so I'll link that in the description. Same with, like, every product I mentioned. Getting tan in general makes such a big difference because it adds so much definition to your body and your face. It was one of the key things I used to try to look better. But this doesn't really work if you're not already at least a little bit tan, because then it like comes out very splotchy. Splotchy's not even the right word. It's just like you look too tan to be real, if that makes sense. If your hand's like pale and white and then your face is like this color tan, like it just doesn't look right. While we're on the topic of skincare, I also use serums. So like I don't use a face wash or a moisturizer. I just like messed that up. I don't use a face wash or a moisturizer. Literally all I use is like this skin soothing serum. And I want to sell it because the one I got was actually a sample for me to sell, but then I just ended up using it. It's basically like a moisturizer that works so, like it penetrates so deep into your skin that it just makes it look glossy, like extremely smooth. But for most of you, if you have acne or anything like that, you're just gonna want to use like a simple like cleanser and moisturizer. That's all you need. The serum is what you want to do when you get like more advanced and you like really want to get that like smooth skin. Something that not too many people know, and one of my biggest issues, is the foods that like you eat day to day make a massive difference in the way that your face looks. And when I started quote unquote glowing down, I started eating foods like that were very sugary, and that makes your face look a lot more bloated. So I pretty much tried to completely cut out like any of that really sugary junk food. Like I used to love Oreos so much. There was something else, I can't remember. It was like chocolate covered almonds or something. I would eat like an entire bag of those and it would just like ruin me. Then also really salty foods, like I tried cutting out completely. This isn't necessarily good. This can make you dehydrated, but the reason I did it is because it makes an instant difference. If you were to go right now and just cut out salt for an entire day, like it would be insane how much different you look after. And honestly, that's the method. Now, like I was saying, how like I want you guys to do this with me. If you want to make like an insane difference, the few things that I recommend that will probably have the biggest impact is number one, eating like either chicken or beef. Like you could eat fish and all that stuff, but like those two things are more accessible. So for the only meal of your day, what I want you to do is sit down and make some sort of meat. Like hopefully you're not vegan watching this. Either make the chicken or steak, and you can't put salt on it, which like might seem weird at the start, but you can use other seasonings. Like I use garlic powder and other stuff like that. Or hot sauce is a really good one. It's really low in calories. And then with that meat, it's gonna be so filling because you can literally get like an entire pound. But you can also have like a side, and something that's also really low in calorie is like potatoes. So a meal that I had recently was like hash browns and like chicken or something like that. Yeah, it was like hash browns and chicken. And then all I did was like put hot sauce and garlic powder, and it literally tasted honestly kind of like I went to McDonald's, because the chicken I had was like frozen and it was like baked like pre-air fried or something like that. And the thing is, like, even that sort of chicken isn't even bad. You just gotta make sure the calorie to protein ratio is good. So like that chicken actually had really low calorie, especially for being like battered. But it was amazing. It tasted really good. It was really tasty and really low calorie. And then something that I think is really important, I did this a while ago, but I know a lot of other people haven't, and it's actually just cutting out liquid calories. So like, don't be drinking soda or like anything sugary. Like any sugary drinks are like the absolute bane of your existence. The only liquid thing that I drink that has calories is either going to be a protein shake or milk, because I actually do like milk. There's some protein in there. It's like nothing crazy, but this helped me a lot. And honestly, throughout the day, if I'm being completely real, I probably eat like one serving of like a large amount of meat and then like a few snacks throughout the day, and that's pretty much it. I try to incorporate fruits and vegetables like I was saying, and that's pretty much all I eat. If you guys want a more in-depth guide on how you can actually get like a really good like physique and face as well, I highly recommend watching this video right here where I go in depth about all of that.